right, we're going to start today with Michelle Vogel and then throw it to Doug Fiber.
Um, Hi, Breanna. I'm wondering, just you and your fellow elite athletes, when you see something like we've seen with Simone Biles, what do you guys talk about when you talk about that? Because you all understand the pressure, but maybe everybody, doesn't. Um, Most people don't, they've never been in that situation. What have you thought about it, and have you talked to other, maybe your teammates or anyone else about that?
Yeah, I mean, thoughts on Simone Biles is, we've seen it with Naomi Osaka as well, but mental health is real, and making sure that you're in a great mental state of mind isn't always the easiest thing, and especially here at the Olympics, you see that everything is heightened, the pressure is heightened, the pride is heightened, the wanting to represent your country and do everything you possibly can to win is everywhere. So, I mean, I think for us as athletes, we feel that. And, it's making sure we have a happy balance with USA Basketball. We have a great group around us, making sure that we're continually in a good headspace. And it's something that, we've all, I think, learned to do even more, especially playing in bubbles or being in quarantine or whatever the case may be. This year, this past couple of years have not been easy. So I think for Simone, just a lot of respect for her, for what she's done, for what she's been able to do for USA Gymnastics. And I think we're just here, making sure we're in her corner.
Just one other question. One of the things Kelsey Plum said earlier today, or would be last night there after they won, was that you were really an inspiration to her because of, as she said, you sort of redefined what you could do after an Achilles injury, and she picked your brain about that. I'm just wondering how gratifying it was for you to see her, the whole team, but for her to come back from that injury, and maybe some of the things you shared with her about doing that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously for Kelsey to be able to come back from her Achilles, a little over a year later, and have a gold medal, is a lot of credit to her. I know she said she picked my brain, but she was the one that was doing the rehab. She was the one that was in the gym. She was the one that kind of trusted the process while it was a roller coaster of a ride. And I was actually thinking about this before, but between myself, KD, and Kelsey, we're three athletes who have kind of defied the odds for returning to play from an Achilles injury. So it's something that's, incredible, I think. And I'm really happy for Kelsey and for 3-on-3 to have won the gold.
Thank you.
Doug Feinberg, and then we'll go to Tyler Bronski with Nesson.
Hey, Stewie. So what does it say about how versatile and good these bigs on your team are that you're starting at the 3 when you usually play the 4, I think, on your own team, and you start Asia, and BG, and then you have Sylvia and Tina coming off the bench? I mean, no one in the world can match that, I don't think.
I mean, it's something that's obviously to our benefit. I think the versatility is something that sets USA basketball alone from everybody else, and just our our size and our skill, being able to be 6'3", 4, 5, 6, you keep going, and be able to pass, shoot, dribble is something that's really special. And I think I keep saying this all the time, but it's great to be on the same side of the court as them.
I know I asked you last year before, I guess 2 years before you got hurt, but having watched 3-on-3 now a bit, do you have that itch to maybe do that in Paris in a few years?
Oh, we'll see. I mean, I know it was a big thing that I was interested in before I got injured in 2019, trying to get the points and that type of thing. It's a very physical game, but if the opportunity presents itself where I could somehow play both, then I would love to. But obviously focusing on Steph, Alicia, Jackie, and Kelsey. They held it down, and always got to give a shout out to Lou. But they did an amazing job, and I'm sure that they'll be back in Paris in 4 years.
Thanks, Stewie.
Tyler?
Hey, Stewie, what's been the emphasis at practice as you guys prepare for Japan?
The emphasis of practice has been to continue to play aggressive, but play smart. We had 25 turnovers against Nigeria, and we're playing Japan, and they're just as aggressive of a team, trying to turn us over, trying to trap us. So making sure that we're ready for that, prepared for that, and using our size to our advantage. Doug asked about it, but continuing to kind of pound the ball in the paint, and then knock down shots from the outside, and we should be able to get whatever we want.
And you've been present at both the men's games so far. What do you look at or try to pick up when you watch their games?
Well, what's interesting when watching the men's game is, I think we're in similar positions, trying to get a feel for one another very quickly, trying to build that chemistry very quickly. But what I always find interesting, whether watching film in Seattle or watching the games here, is the fact that they literally switch everything 1 through 5, and it doesn't matter if a point guard is matched up on one of the biggest players on the other team. They just continue to kind of work it out. And ball movement, that's something that I think we both are good at, finding the next person and knocking down an open shot.
Thanks very much.
Next, we'll go to David Melandra.
Hey, Breanna, can you talk about how long would you say did the transition go going from the rules that the WNBA uses to going to the international rules?
I think for those that have been here before, we're aware of the different rules. So I don't think there was a huge transition period with that. I think the only thing that was interesting for us was our first game, the WNBA All-Star game. We still played WNBA rules, and then the next 2 games we went back to the international rules. But majority of us play overseas, so we're aware that there's no defensive 3, and just the way the game is played and called.
And can you talk about the coaching style that Dawn Staley has done so far, since in the last Olympics it was done by Gino?
Yeah, I think playing for Coach Staley is different in the aspect that she's a player coach. She's obviously been in the Olympics. She's been representing USA basketball on the court, and now she's doing it from the sidelines. So a lot of the positions that we're in on the court, she's been there before, and having that type of guidance is different for us, because we don't usually have that, and also at the same time really special and helpful. And I think also she gives us the opportunity to let us play. She gives us some looks as far as offensively, defensively, what we're trying to get done, but from there, we're all great players, and we go make great plays.
Thank you. It looks like that was the final question for Stewie. So thank you so much. And we'll be back with Brittany Griner in here shortly.